Melvin and I looked up, and there were two groups of Temptations. David and Eddie got with Dennis and two other guys, and they went out on the road. And the hardest part was that we couldn't stop them.
Y'all, I just finished season 1, episode 2 of The Temptations, or the finale episode.
The way you do the things you do. The way you do all day.
And I will say this one definitely had a different feel than the first one, just because this one kind of concluded what happened to a lot of the members in The Temptations. And I didn't know, like, I knew they had passed away, but just like hearing what happened to each one was a little sad. And then I just feel like this one was like a more rough watch because you got to see like kind of more of the bad things that happened in The Temptations. And overall, I think this was a really good series. I really like how they highlighted the friendship between the members as well, because even though for periods of time like certain members didn't get along, you saw like they were still brothers, they were still friends at the end of the day, and they were there for each other when they needed it. And I still learned stuff about the Temptations. At one point there were 2 Temptations, and I think I remember my dad mentioning something about that like a while back. And so just kind of seeing like, oh, some of the OG members were in one Temptation and the OG were in the other, and they were just like performing at the same time, and then they just kind of came together and they started a reunion thing, and it was just so great, so amazing. And the last one, like, they were just, the group was breaking up. David Ruffin got kicked out of the group, but then I do like how this one started. After he got kicked out, he like crashes one of their performances, and he like takes the mic and sings My Girl, because that was like his song that he was known for and that he sang lead on. And he like kind of takes the mic and takes over, and they're like, what are you doing here? You're not part of the group anymore. And so just kind of seeing the growth in him, like he grew to like actually a good person, and then he kind of reverted back and ended up dying from an overdose. And then Melvin, I think honestly, based on this series, he was my favorite out of the Temptations, just because he was always level-headed and he seemed like a really good guy that got along with everyone and just wanted the best for everyone. And so he passed away too from like a heart attack. Then you had Otis's son passing away too. Like, it was just so much death in this. But I think what really made it meaningful is just the brotherhood is what made this a special episode. And you just really saw the closeness. People fight, but at the end of the day, you need to know that people are there for you. And that's kind of like what this episode showed. Like, they all came together, and it was kind of, it always gets me in stuff where people come together. Like, I started tearing up when they like did their reunion, and everyone was just happy to be together. And then when they got there, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the OG members came up, and they still weren't getting along, but they like celebrated together and were like, I'm glad you're here. And that got me too. And one of the things I actually ended up researching is I think Otis helped actually like make this TV series. So I think some of it is based on an autobiography that he did. So you kind of get reality in it, but at the same time, it's also based off of one person's experience. It's based off of one person's experience. So I mean, there's other sides to the stories, you know, other things that were going on that weren't mentioned, but this is kind of like from Otis's end. And so that makes sense that the Otis character was the one who was kind of telling the story as it went on, and you kind of saw things from his side. But yeah, I thought they did a really good job playing homage to the Temptations, and I learned so much about them that I did not know. Take the time to really celebrate what they did for music, how they paved the way for so many artists that we have now. And yeah, okay, I'll see y'all soon. This has been another episode of Real Talk with Noelle.